It's 11 p.m. You're standing in your kitchen. The fridge is open. There's leftover chicken on the second shelf. There's a bowl of salad wilting quietly in the corner. And there's a bag of chips on the counter, already half empty. You reach for the chips. You ate dinner 3 hours ago. You're not hungry. You know the label says 230 calories per serving, and you stopped counting servings 2 handfuls ago. But your hand moves anyway, like it has its own agenda. For 99.9% of human history, that bag of chips didn't exist. Nothing like it existed. No organism on this planet ever encountered a food that was 50% fat, 35% carbohydrate, engineered to dissolve on contact, and designed by a team of people with PhDs. And yet you reach for it. Every single time. Why? Here's what everyone knows. We crave junk food because humans evolved to seek calorie-dense foods. On the African savanna, sugar meant ripe fruit. Fat meant a fresh kill. Salt meant you wouldn't collapse in the heat. Our ancestors who craved these things survived long enough to pass on their genes. The ones who didn't crave them didn't survive at all. So you inherited their appetites. You're walking around with a caveman brain in a modern world. That's the story. Simple, clean, satisfying. And it's not the whole truth. In the late 1990s, a mathematician named Howard Moskowitz was hired by some of the largest food companies on Earth. His assignment was deceptively simple. Find the perfect formula. Not a good formula. The perfect one. He ran thousands of taste tests. He plotted every result on graphs. He built mathematical models for 45 different spaghetti sauce formulations, 60 coffee blends, over 100 beverage variations. And he discovered something he named the bliss point. The bliss point is the exact concentration of sugar, salt, or fat where pleasure reaches its peak. Not too little. Not too much. The precise amount where your brain says more. Moskowitz didn't find one bliss point. He found hundreds. For every product. For every demographic. He could predict, with math alone, exactly how much sugar a 35-year-old woman in Ohio wanted in her spaghetti sauce. He could calculate the precise salt level that would make a 19-year-old in Texas reach for a second handful. The food on your shelf isn't just food. It's a formula, engineered to hit a target inside your brain that you didn't know existed. But this is just the first layer. In 2015, a neuroscientist named Dana Small at Yale University ran an experiment that cracked the textbook story wide open. She published her findings in the journal Cell Metabolism. She gave people 3 different drinks. One had real sugar with real calories. One had 0-calorie artificial sweetener that tasted identical. One had a maltodextrin solution, calories with no sweetness at all. Here's what everyone predicted. The brain would respond to sweetness. Sweetness equals pleasure. That's the entire evolutionary argument in one sentence. That's not what happened. When people drank the sweet but 0-calorie drink, their brain's reward centers went silent. Nothing. No dopamine. No pleasure response. The sweetness was there. The brain didn't care. But when they drank the calorie drink with no sweetness, full activation. The reward centers lit up. Dopamine flooded in. Your brain doesn't crave sweetness. It craves energy. And it can tell the difference between real fuel and a fake signal, even when your tongue cannot. This means the evolutionary story is backwards. We didn't evolve to love sugar. We evolved to detect energy density. Sugar was just the signal our ancestors used to find it, until we learned to fake the signal and break the system. But the story gets darker. In 2019, a researcher named Kevin Hall at the National Institutes of Health ran one of the most tightly controlled feeding studies ever conducted. He published the results in Cell Metabolism. He brought 20 adults into a clinical research ward. They lived there for 4 weeks. Every meal was prepared by the NIH kitchen. Every calorie was measured. Every bite was logged. The participants couldn't leave, couldn't order takeout, couldn't snack in secret. For 2 weeks, they ate unprocessed foods. Steak, roasted vegetables, brown rice, fresh fruit. For the next 2 weeks, they ate ultra-processed foods. Chicken nuggets, white bread, sweetened yogurt. Same total calories available on the table. Same ratios of fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Identical on a nutrition label. The result? People on the ultra-processed diet ate 508 more calories every single day. They gained almost a kilogram per week. And they had no idea they were eating more. Same nutrients. Same energy. But the processed food made them eat more. Automatically. Unconsciously. Without trying. Hall called it the ultra-processed effect. 508 calories. Every day. Without awareness. But why? What is the food doing to your brain? One answer comes from a concept food scientists call vanishing caloric density. Think about a Cheeto. You bite into it. It crumbles. It dissolves. Within seconds, your mouth feels empty. Your brain receives a signal. That wasn't real food. Keep going. The food is designed to bypass your satiety system. It melts. It vanishes. Your brain never sends the stop eating signal. Not because you lack willpower. Because the food was engineered to prevent that signal from firing. This isn't an accident. This is architecture. And almost nobody talks about what lies underneath. In the 1980s, a nutrition researcher named Barbara Rolls at Penn State University discovered something she called sensory-specific satiety. She ran a series of experiments. She gave people plate after plate of the same food. Plain rice. Just rice. After a few bites, they stopped. Bored. Done. Then she gave them plates with variety. Rice with sauce. Rice with crunch. Rice with spice. Something different every few bites. They kept eating. And eating. Same calories on the table. But the variety made them eat 44% more. The more sensory variety of food offers, the longer you eat. Your brain gets bored of one signal. But give it a new signal, and the appetite resets. The food industry took this discovery and ran with it. Flamin' hot Cheetos aren't just spicy. They're spicy, then salty, then crunchy, then creamy, then dissolving. Every bite is a new sensory event. Your brain never habituates. Your satiety signal never fires. Rolls discovered a biological limit. The food industry turned it into a business model. But the deepest layer hasn't been touched yet. Here's the part that changes everything you've heard so far. You think you choose junk food because it tastes good. That's been the whole story. Pleasure. Bliss points. Dopamine. Your brain rewards you, so you go back for more. But in 2019, a team at the University of Pittsburgh, led by Zachary Knight, found something that doesn't fit that story at all. They published their findings in Nature Neuroscience. They were studying the vagus nerve, the information superhighway between your gut and your brain. They already knew the gut sends signals about calories. But they discovered something new. A completely separate signal. One that responds specifically to fat. And here's the twist. The brain's reward response to fat doesn't require taste. Doesn't require smell. Doesn't require any conscious awareness that you're eating. They infused fat directly into the intestines of mice. The mice couldn't taste it, couldn't smell it, had zero conscious experience of it. And their brains released dopamine anyway. Your gut has its own preferences, its own desires. And it can trigger reward responses in your brain without asking your tongue for permission. And here's where it gets truly strange. Some researchers now believe your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside your digestive tract, may be driving your cravings. Certain bacterial species thrive on sugar. Others feed on fat. And they can send chemical signals through the vagus nerve that make you want what they want. One study at the University of California, San Francisco, found that mice raised in sterile environments with zero gut bacteria showed dramatically different eating patterns than normal mice. When scientists introduced specific bacterial species into their guts, the mice's food preferences shifted. The bacteria changed what the mice wanted to eat. You think you're choosing, but maybe something inside you is choosing for you. So what does this mean for you? It means that bag of chips isn't just a snack. It's the endpoint of a 50-year engineering project. Designed by mathematicians with models. Tested in laboratories with taste panels. Optimized to hit neurological targets you never agreed to. And the part of you that reaches for it, that might not even be you. It might be a colony of bacteria, sending signals up a nerve you can't feel, requesting what they need to survive. You are not a single organism making a choice. You are an ecosystem. And some members of that ecosystem have figured out how to use the steering wheel. So the next time it's 11 p.m., you're in your kitchen. The fridge is open. The salad is right there. The chips are right there. And your hand moves. Ask yourself,